Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell the truth about silver. Today is Thursday, the 31st of December 2020, and we have breaking news on the Brexit front. So let's take a look. It's Thursday, 31st of December 2020. New Year's Eve, and it's 0923 GMT. And we have some breaking news concerning Brexit. So let's go straight over to Greg and find out what happened in the late hours of last night. Greg, good morning.
Good morning. We have another 14 hours to go. Yesterday, our Parliament, the House of Commons, debated the final deal for leaving the European Union and how we would trade with them. We left in January this year, but we had a transition period in which to negotiate a deal. Boris Johnson was elected to office on the promise that he would deliver. He was a little optimistic when he said, "It's oven ready, it's no problem, it can be delivered rapidly." At this 14th hour, we are in a position where yesterday it was debated, the final agreement, after much to and fro with the European Union, was debated in the House of Commons. Everybody appreciated that we were never going to get a perfect deal. No one ever does in life. Everything has elements of trade-off. And as a result, only the Scottish Nationalist Party voted against themselves. They had campaigned throughout to remain in the European Union, and if we were leaving, we must not leave with what they called a no deal, and what it really meant was no bespoke deal. Boris Johnson was voted into office, and yesterday he delivered to the House of Commons a bespoke deal. It has rough edges. It has some things where we didn't win as clearly as we would have liked to have done, and those are easy to classify. The biggest area is that we don't really have our trade deal nailing down the edges and producing a level playing field for services. That is yet to come. However, we did get retention of control over British waters and our fishing. The continent wanted 14 years in which to slowly phase out fishing in British waters, where they have been stealing huge quantities of fish directly with factory ships and very damagingly to fishing stocks for several years now. They wanted 14 years, Britain wanted 3. We have settled at 5.5 years, but with an immediate reduction on the percentage of fish that can be taken out of our waters by the continental fishing fleets. Over the next 5 years, 5.5 years to be precise, we will be phasing out continental fishing in our fishing areas. We have a right now to police those fishing areas and ensure that foreign boats only remove that which is in the treaty and permissible for them to remove. So all in all, quite a good deal. This was put to the House of Commons and was voted on early yesterday evening. The vote was somewhere in the region of 520 something votes in favour of signing the deal and 70 votes against. There were a few abstentions on the Labour benches and 3 or 4 front bench personnel in the Labour Party resigned their seats on the front bench, but they can easily be replaced because nobody really knew who they were and they weren't very consequential individuals, since Labour's in the difficult position that they really don't have anyone to choose a front bench or opposition from. So it was voted through. It was immediately passed to the House of Lords. Later in the evening, the House of Lords voted on it, and it was passed. It was taken straight from there to the Queen, who is our head of state, where it was signed into law by the Queen, and it became law later yesterday evening. We now have just under 14 hours remaining in the European Union, and then we are out and the deal is up and running. Over the next few years, there will obviously be adjustments made to the deal, but all in all, it is better than I had expected. Obviously not as good as I had hoped, but I knew that hope was rather a vain hope. We have a good deal that can now, over the next few years, be improved on as we work towards commensurate deals with the other nearly 200 nations around the world. I gather we have over 60 individual nations outside of the European Union with whom we have already finalized deals or aspects of deals. This will take place over the next few years, and from then on, as before we entered the EU rather misguidedly in the early 70s, we will be negotiating directly with the nation states of the world, the great trading blocs and the small countries, for the best deal that suits them and us. A much fairer, much more democratic situation than being vassals of the European supranational state. I personally have been involved in working on this for a depressingly long time, 60 years. I started in the early 1960s as a young teenager in debates at school and in other places, and I have consistently said it would be folly for Britain to join the European Union, and I have said we should not join the European Union, and throughout the time that we were in the European Union, I have actively campaigned, more strenuously at some times than others, but I have actively campaigned and spoken out that we should leave the utterly undemocratic, totally corrupt, over-costly European Union. And at 11 o'clock GMT tonight, we will be out, all senses of the word. Yeehaw!
Why do you say 11 o'clock, Greg, and not 12 o'clock?
Because we're doing it on European time, and Europe is 1 hour ahead of us. We're talking of British winter time, which is 1 hour behind Europe.
Well, it'll be the first time you've ever put Europe first, Greg.
Not I. I would have been out long ago had it been me putting Europe or Britain first. It has been catastrophic for both countries, just as Winston Churchill warned in the 1940s when he said, if the choice is the continent or the open sea, Britain should take the open sea.
What I found quite amazing, Greg, was the fact that the deal was done, signed by the European Commission president, transported to this country, voted on in both the Commons and the Lords, and given Royal Assent, all within, let's be honest, a phenomenally short period of time. It just goes to show what lawmakers can really do when the time pressure is on.
They're very good at waffling when their time pressure isn't on.
Indeed.
And basically, with the normal House of Commons, it's a place to posture on political grounds, just as we watch the American Congress and Senate endlessly posturing one side against the other. It's inevitable in any kind of democratic parliament, whether it's a democratic republic like America, or whether it's a rather more true democracy like the United Kingdom. I say rather more true in that we do not have electoral colleges that can confuse the issue and can in fact suborn the vote of the people. That cannot be done in British politics.
And on that note, Greg, as this is just a quick update, I'd like to say thank you very much and have a very happy new year, and we'll speak again after tomorrow.
In total freedom.
in total freedom. Thank you, Greg.
Enjoy, everybody, but please don't go out partying and go home and kill Granny.
We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it on social media. Please ensure that you have subscribed to our channel and press the bell sign so that you are notified of any future videos. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe either as a free or paying member for regular email updates and offers. Disclaimer. Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.